check it out. What's inside the box here? We'll have to open it up to find out. I'm waiting for this for a long time.
Can we fly the drone?
Yeah, we might fly the drone.
Let's do it.
So why did I choose a Dell XPS 15 9560, the 2017 model, over a MacBook Pro? Let's talk about that. And here it is. It's a good looking laptop. It's got the all aluminum chassis, case, whatever you call that. So I labored for months, literally months, over this decision on getting a laptop, a new one, and basically the only thing I use it for that you wouldn't really use another computer for is video editing. I wanted a good, solid laptop that could edit video fast, handle some of the edits, color grading, time lapses that my other laptop couldn't. It was kind of a bargain level laptop when I bought it. We bought it for mainly for my wife when she was in nursing school, just to kind of get her through that, her writing papers and whatnot, and it did the job okay for video editing. But this laptop right here, check it out. It's got the 4K monitor, it's got fingerprint scanner, Windows Hello, logs in really quickly, you don't have to type in the password anymore. There are a couple things I don't like about it though. The number keys are all on the top here. They had space within this frame, possibly. I don't know now that I look at it. But it would have been nice to have the number pad over here. Not that I use the numbers a whole lot. Doing it up here, I mean, it's going to take some getting used to again. Not a huge deal. But this 4K monitor, oh my god, it is amazing. And it's supposed to be touchscreen as well, which I haven't gotten that to work or something. Thought about calling Dell to see what was up. I've updated all the drivers and everything for it. A touchscreen on a laptop is not something I really use, and it didn't sway my decision to get the one with the 4K instead of the just 1080p full HD monitor. So, not a big deal for me right now. I just cared that it looked good, and it does look good. Now let's talk about the specs for a minute, and then we'll get into why I chose this over a MacBook. So this one has the latest Core i7, I think it's the 7700 HQ. It's the Kaby Lake processor. Amazing processor. It's fast. Most of my videos on here are about 10 minutes on average. A 10-minute video with edits, color grading, and music on my old laptop all together would take about 3 hours total to process and render and all that once I got done with it. This one takes about 4 to 5 minutes. That is a huge improvement. That means I can edit as many videos in a day as I really need to, whereas with the other one I can only edit maybe 2 or 3 at most. It also has 16 gigabytes of RAM. Costco had one of these models. It had a 1 terabyte hard drive and 32 gigs of RAM for just slightly more than I paid for this, but by the time I got ready to buy it, it was already off sale and it was back up $500-600 over what I paid for this. And I may upgrade the RAM at some point, but the 1 terabyte hard drive didn't really make much of a difference to me, and it was a solid state drive. This one has a 512 gigabyte solid state drive. For what I do, that is perfectly fine. I always have a little external drive with me for backing up video files and whatnot. And I have a 5 terabyte external hard drive for my complete backup. I keep all the video files that I've ever shot just to have around. And that's about all for the major specs as far as this is concerned. So let's talk about why I chose this one over a MacBook Pro. First and foremost, cost, really not a huge issue. Granted, I did pay a little less than half for this one of what I would have paid for a MacBook Pro spec'd out like I wanted. To get the MacBook Pro, the newest one, the 2017 model, with the same processor this has, same RAM, although I don't think it had DDR4 RAM. This one does. I think it still had DDR3. If I'm wrong, someone correct me in the comments. But this one was actually a used model I got from Amazon. It's a warehouse deal, and it was about $200 less than the new model, and it's been perfectly fine. I can't tell that it's been used at all, which is another reason I love Amazon warehouse deals. You can get some great deals on there. But the second biggest reason, besides cost of course, that I chose this one is the ports. Of course, everything I film on here is on an SD card, so this has a nice SD card slot and has a USB. Got another USB over here. Got USB-C, headphone jack, which the MacBook Pro has, and HDMI. The newest MacBook Pro has 4 USB Type-C ports. That's it. So for right now, that wouldn't work for me. I need, more connectivity options. 3-4 years from now, when most everything is USB-C, that might work, but for right now it won't. Also, when I originally started looking at computers and specs and costs and all that, trying to narrow down what I wanted, the MacBook Pro that was out at that time was still, I believe it was the mid-2015 model, the good one that a lot of people still like, that just had, regular ports, had HDMI, I think, had your USB ports, SD card slot, all that good stuff. And you can still buy those. I don't know if Apple sells them new, but you can still get them refurbished. They're about $2,000 or so, or a little more, between $2,000 and $2,500 depending on how it's spec'd. The graphics card and everything was still way behind on what the Dell came with. It's GTX 1050. Amazing graphics card for the price and size of the laptop here. You can get better ones. Beyond that, you're getting into like a gaming computer setup, and those are big laptops. And that is definitely not to say I have anything against Macs. I really like them. I like the operating system and the functionality behind it better, all the behind the scenes stuff, than Windows, which they have improved it tremendously with Windows 10. They had some hiccups with Windows 8, 8.1, Vista, but they're finally getting it right. But again, they're very expensive, and the hardware really doesn't justify it, in my opinion. Just my humble opinion. So that's another reason I went with the Dell. But probably within the next year or two, hopefully at the latest, I'll have a 27-inch iMac, because I really do want to learn more about the Mac OS operating system. The last time I really used a Mac was probably when I was in elementary school and middle school, and some in high school. In high school, our library had those big computers that looked kind of like a teardrop. It had the different, had blue cases, purple cases, pink cases. So that was the last time I really used a Mac. They have gotten a lot better since then, and I'll have one day. So that, in a nutshell, is why I chose the Dell. And another reason is I edit in Adobe Premiere Pro, and all the tests, everything I've seen, this one performs better with Adobe. Now, if I was a Final Cut user, obviously I would have to use a Mac, and since Apple software is optimized to work with Apple laptops, it is a very good and very fast editing software. And I know a lot of people that use it, a lot of people that like it, but I've been using Premiere Pro. I like it. I know it pretty well. It works for what I do. Everything I need and then some. So I like it. So thanks for watching. And if you're in the market for a laptop, especially one for video editing, I can highly recommend this one. And if you're already a Mac user in the Apple environment with your phone, iPad, whatever, I do have an iPad, go with a Mac. They're more expensive, but they do last. But you can't really upgrade them. This, you take off the back panel, upgrade, anything you need to. This has been another non-technical tech review from Tennessee Matt. Have a good one.